Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that the US dollar is no longer accepted anywhere in the world. International trade stops, financial markets panic, governments scramble to find a new way to do business. It sounds impossible, yet one simple question remains. How did one nation's currency become the backbone of the global economy? To understand the answer, we have to travel back in time. Before the US dollar became dominant, the British pound ruled global trade. During the height of the British Empire, merchants, banks, and governments relied heavily on the pound. London was the financial center of the world, and Britain's influence reached nearly every continent. Then came two devastating world wars. Europe suffered enormous destruction. Economies collapsed, industries were damaged, and governments faced overwhelming debt. Meanwhile, the United States emerged with a rapidly growing economy, expanding industries, and vast gold reserves. In July 1944, representatives from 44 nations gathered in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire. Their goal was to create a new international financial system that could bring stability after the war. The agreement they reached changed the world forever. The United States promised that foreign governments and central banks could exchange US dollars for gold at a fixed rate of $35 per ounce. That commitment gave countries confidence to hold dollars as part of their official reserves. As more nations adopted the system, the US dollar quickly became the foundation of international trade and the world's most trusted reserve currency. But history took another dramatic turn. In 1971, President Richard Nixon ended the dollar's direct link to gold. The Bretton Woods system officially came to an end, and many believed the dollar would lose its global dominance. Instead, something unexpected happened. The United States strengthened the dollar's position through global energy markets. Oil exports were increasingly priced in US dollars, meaning countries around the world needed dollars to purchase one of the world's most important resources. This created constant international demand for the US dollar, even without a direct connection to gold. Today, the dollar remains at the center of the global economy. Central banks continue holding large reserves of US dollars. International trade, energy markets, shipping, and global investments still rely heavily on the American currency. Businesses trust the dollar because it is widely accepted across international markets. Investors continue purchasing US government bonds, viewing them as one of the safest financial assets in the world. That global demand helps keep the dollar stronger than almost every other currency. However, the story is still evolving. Several countries are searching for alternatives to reduce their dependence on the dollar. China is expanding the international use of the yuan. BRICS nations are exploring new payment systems, while many governments are developing digital currencies for future transactions. Even so, replacing the world's leading reserve currency is an enormous challenge. A global currency depends on trust, deep financial markets, political stability, legal institutions, and decades of international confidence. These foundations cannot be replaced overnight. The US dollar did not become the world's dominant currency by accident. Its position was built through economic strength, global trade, financial trust, and decades of international cooperation. Whether another currency will eventually replace it remains uncertain. The next chapter of financial history is still being written. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Time Bandit for more fascinating stories that shaped our world.